All right, welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at CrackEverything. Now this can be downloaded off of GitHub. All right. Let me actually hop over to GitHub over here. There we go. We have a netexec-everything or netexec-everything.py and also a CrackEverything version 6.py. This utilizes CrackEverything or netexec. If you already have CrackEverything version 6, there has been changes to it with both netexec and CrackEverything. There has been changes, so make sure you download the newest one. Also, on line 50 here, let's say you downloaded CrackEverything and then you decide to get rid of it and you're using netexec now. Same exact thing, but all you have to do is just change line 50 like right here to say CrackEverything or CME or wherever you're calling for that version 6 to be. Okay? If you have downloaded netexec and you had CrackEverything, same exact thing. Mine is still called CrackEverything.py just because I didn't feel like changing the name and doing netexec.py because I already had this in my brain. So since I have a small brain, I don't want to keep messing around with stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, we have attack R for our host. Our host can also use a network address. All right, so you can test the whole network. Username. Okay, this is not just a username. You can also do a username file in here. You will see that later. Password. What is the password? You don't actually need to put in a domain name. All right, you only need to do that if you're utilizing in-packet. Okay, if you're utilizing that attack I, then you need a domain name. Other than that, we don't need it unless you're running in-packet. All right, just test. This is one of the newer features of it where it just goes out and sees, does something actually work? It doesn't call for users, groups, shares, password policy, a whole bunch of different LDAP things, stuff like that. It doesn't call for any of that. It just tests it. Okay, it just sees, do I have pod on anything or a shell on anything, right? Hash, that is the NT hash. You can put that in there. A file. This is going to be a file of IP addresses, right? Such as in an internal.txt. Don't use it with our host, obviously. If we already have a file of IP addresses, we don't need to use that with our host now, right? In-packet is if you are want to run in-packet against it. Works best if you're an administrator. And then this tag Z, like right here for pod, what this does is this looks at your conf file. So if we go ahead and we locate nxc.conf, or for you, it'd be cme.conf if you're still on CrackEverything. We go ahead, let's just go ahead and cat this one. We'll cat this like real quick. And we can see that I've changed mine to shell, okay, instead of pod. So I would say tag Z shell. All right, then from there, we have LDAP. This is telling us, hey, we want to test for LDAP. LDAP can take a very long time to test. So if you don't want to test for LDAP, don't put in that capital L. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and run it like real quick. We're just going to run it with a username, a password, and we're going to say, hey, we don't want to test for LDAP, no capital L there, and we just want to just test the system, see if we get shell anywhere on there. Like I said, I've changed mine to shell, my comp file. So we'll enter here, and we'll see that does not test for LDAP. That's great, and all of a sudden, we get this callback right here. All right, we go ahead and remove tech RF star. Yes, please. And we'll go ahead and we'll do that one more time, just so it doesn't show it 3 times. Because it appends files, it does not overwrite any file. All right, so we can go ahead and cat that winrm.txt now, and we can see, yep, 100%, we got a shell there. We know that because it's HTTP, port 5985, so that's winrm. All right, if we cat smb.txt, hey, we can log in, but we didn't get a shell on it, right? So that is on that link right there. Let's go ahead now and echo that 192.168.0.146 into a file. So we'll just call this rhost.txt, right? Let's go ahead and run it again. Except for this time, we're going to do an attack capital F. And we're going to use the file this time. Awesome. It still works. All right. You can put as many IP addresses as you want in there. It'll go through, run its nmap scan, see what's actually open, and then go ahead and try to attack it. Remember, if we append that capital L, it'll then run on LDAP. Okay, but like I said, LDAP does take a very long time. Next, we want to look at, let's go ahead and look at a username file, right? So let's go ahead and get a username file first. I'm going to go ahead and use a tool that I've been building a little bit lately. It's not quite ready yet, but I mean, it's close enough. So it's going to be going on GitHub soon. So we're going to try to crack these hashes, which is going to make 2 different files for us, and we're going to use those 2 different files against utilizing them within our CrackEverything Python script there. All right, awesome. We got some cracked username here. We have some cracked passwords. We go ahead and cat that asrep users.txt. There we go. Cat asrep pass.txt. There we go. So let's go ahead and throw that now into here. We'll go back to an R host. You don't need to, but just to make my life easier so I can look at it and know exactly what I'm doing here. Tag U, like I said, we don't need to change anything. We just say asrep users.txt. Tag P, asrep pass.txt. And we'll just go ahead and say, hey, just run, right? Just see what I have shell on. And there we go. We have a shell now with Julaid and Hammer and also Badabel Sheeta. All right, so those two both have a shell on here. Looks like both within WinRM. So we should be able to log in with Evil WinRM. And we'll go ahead and we'll try it like real quick just to prove that it isn't lying to us, right? And we'll say Julaid Casey. And we'll go ahead and we'll say Hammer. Awesome. All right, next one we want to look at is what happens if we get rid of that tag J. We're just going to give it a user this time. And the reason I was giving user is because we're going to keep getting the same information back again with a bunch of users, right? So as you can see, this is going to look through the shares, groups, users, session, password policy, and everything like that. It's going to look for both domain and also local authentication. All right, so you might get a lot of information back out here. We can see like right there, we have a shell on WinRM. We already knew that, but it goes ahead and drops it down for us. There we go. Okay, so it's going to look through a lot of different stuff. It's going to save all that information for you. So if we go and cat that smb.txt, there's all of our information like right there for that one. All right, this other stuff in here, this usernames, things like that, that's all part of the enum-AD script. All this is pretty much part of the enum-AD script. But we can go ahead and look at the different things like winrm.txt, wmi.txt, and we can see what can we actually do with it all, right? What can we actually see out here? And it does save all that to a file, and it continues to append that file. It does not overwrite that file. Okay, so that's without the tag J, without just check. And let's go ahead and grab some hashes for this guy. So we'll go ahead and we will use let's see here. I know the administrator's password, so we're just going to grab his hash like real quick. We'll do a secrets dump. Change me with administrator. And none of those users were also administrators, just so you know. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to grab a hash like real quick. There we go. We got some hash here. There we go. We got administrator's hash like right here. Awesome. Let's go ahead and grab that. And now we can show we can also do this with a hash. Any user's hash. But let's go ahead and do a tag U administrator. Tag H. And we'll throw in that hash. Notice the capital H. We'll do a just check at first. Oh, I obviously did not change the hash one yet to do the LDAP. So we go ahead and go down here, and I'll change that like right now. So LDAP is not false. So we actually want to, should not have ran because LDAP, we never put in that tag L. So I'll go ahead and I'll look into that of what's actually happening like right there. Because we never said that LDAP was going to be true on this guy, right? Nope, nowhere did we say that. So I'm wondering why that's actually running and not running this guy down here. Unless there's something in here that's actually running it, which I don't believe there is. Nope, that all looks good like right there. So I'll go ahead, I'll look into why that's still running that LDAP and see what's going on with that. But we can see, if we go ahead and we cat that smb.txt, we can see that the administrator and the hash does work right there, right? We can see that. All right, we can go ahead and cat that WMI exec or WMI.txt. It hasn't gotten to that yet. With RM.txt, we can all see the administrator and the hash has worked on there. So let's go ahead and do this now with attack I. Oh, I need a domain name. That's why. Tag I, tag D for a domain name, right? Which is going to be changed, not me. Because if I'm doing impact, I'm going to need a domain name there. Which I actually don't know if that administrator was a local one or a oh, nope, it looks like, okay, cool, it is changed, not me. All right. And we can see it says put domain in Etsy host, press enter to continue. So let's go ahead and cat our Etsy host. All right, we do already have it in there. Press enter to continue. And I obviously jacked everything up somewhere along the lines here, probably because there's no, I know exactly what's wrong. Let's go ahead and change that like real quick, and we will make sure that we this gets put in correctly, right? So actually, it's all the way up at the very top. There's a whole bunch of impact commands up here. IWDH, our host, tac hashes, because I didn't put that in there, right there, and then that in there. All right, that should be good. I believe that that's for CrackEverything. All this is for CrackEverything. All right, yep. And we'll go ahead and we'll try that one more time. And it obviously just hates me, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening here, like real quick. Secrets dump.py. This is just because I put in tac hashes, did I? And it's just the tac hashes, huh? So we'll go ahead and we'll grab all these. This is why I do this. And we'll say tac hashes. Good thing I made it all one thing so I don't change a whole bunch of stuff. Let's go and try that one more time. And then we'll go ahead and we'll throw this one onto GitHub. There we go. Looks much better, huh? It's going to try local authentication and also with that domain authentication. So we can see that it dumped a whole bunch of information for us with that tag I link right there. And we got everything that we could possibly ever want from Impacket. Well, I mean, for this at least. This is not an end-all be-all kind of tool. You know, you still have to use other tools and things like that. But it does make enumeration much faster with trying to run a whole bunch of different commands at one time. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed the tool. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see in it, and I'll talk to you all later. Welcome back again for the future. So it does work. Without the tech L for the hash, we can see that that does work, and LDAP is not running anymore. It was I left some remnants of the code in there. Went ahead and deleted that. So if I do it with a tech L now, which I haven't actually tested, of course I did before I started the video, right? But I have enough faith in myself, and there we go. Let's go. That's going to take a while, so I'm not going to let it go while the video is running. But it does work now, and this will be posted on GitHub today. So before this video is ever released, the newest version will be on GitHub. You all have a good one, and I'll talk to you all later.